All right. I'm coming. I hear you. Victor.
Where'd you sleep? The floor?
Come on in.
So how'd Felicia do last night?
All right, all right. In and out of sleep, just like you expected.
Yeah, but what concerns me is how she's gonna do today.
What, are you afraid that I was going to wake up and want my vodka and orange juice?
Felicia.
So is this what I can expect, Victor? Daily checkups to make sure I stay off the booze?
Felicia, Victor's here because he's concerned, not because he's checking up.
Hold on, Lorna. Felicia's right. I am checking up on her. So, how's it feel to wake up without a hangover?
Okay, I guess.
Come on, no dry mouth, no cold sweats, no trying to remember what you did and what you didn't do?
Yeah, okay. It feels pretty good.
Like you feel like hitting the early bird special with me?
Oh, Victor, come on. I mean, I don't think I'm ready for anything to eat. I feel a little shaky still.
Look, I'm not asking you out for breakfast, Felicia. I meant the morning meeting.
Oh. She's got to go to that today?
Today is the first and only day she's got to stay sober.
What?
Until tomorrow, when it's today all over again. You know, meeting with a group of people who've been through their first day, it's a big help. I can wait till you're dressed.
Listen, you think maybe I could take a rain check? Victor, I know what you're thinking. I'm not making an excuse. I'm really not.
Then if you're really serious about
quitting, I am serious. Mom, I made a promise to you. I made a promise to me, which is even more important. My drinking days are over.
Well, then what's the deal?
Frankie's trial begins today. I mean, that's Cass's wife, and I think it's time that I started to be a friend again. And especially, you know, they're going through such a terrible time, the two of them.
Look, no problem. Your recovery is up to you, not me. When you want to go to a meeting, you let me know.
Okay. I'm not copping out. I do feel so much better this morning. I mean, better than I felt in months. I'm not about to let that go.
Oh, good.
And you, honey, how can I thank you for staying with me last night? I mean, I know I couldn't have been much of a picnic.
Please, you were fine. Although I do have to get over to the courthouse. I want to see Kevin before the trial starts. I kind of feel like I'm in a really sticky situation. I mean, I like Frankie and all, but
your guy needs you. How about I get dressed and we go over together?
Oh, good.
Okay.
Felicia, remember HALT.
HALT, well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
No, I mean H-A-L-T.
I don't know what that means.
Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Now, you feel any of those things, you call me, okay?
Because that's when I would want to have a drink, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. I can do this.
You think she's gonna be all right?
I think she's on a pink cloud.
What's that?
Look, it happens to all of us. I mean, the thrill of making it through those first nights makes you feel invincible. Like you can cram a whole year's worth of recovery into one day.
And then you slide back?
Yeah, sometimes.
Great. So just how many more times do I have to go through this?
Look, as many times as you need to. See, the real rotten part about this disease is that there's a treatment, but there's no cure.
Don't you ever have anything nice to say to me?
Yeah, sure. You look absolutely terrific in the morning. You know that? Anderson's a lucky man. See you later, sunshine.
I know who you are. And that's the person that I want the jury to see, too. A loving, caring, honest woman who could never have committed the crime they've accused you of. I want them to see the woman I fell in love with.
Do you really think my clothes are going to get in the way?
Anderson will make sure that they do. He'll paint a picture of you as a wacky eccentric who picks up on every crazy idea that comes down the pike. And if you dress the part, it'll make his case that much stronger.
Okay. We'll play this your way. I want you to hold on to this for good luck, okay?
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to need it.
Frankie.
Oh, it's okay. I heard what you said. But, I need you to tell me something here, Cass. How much time am I looking at? 3 to 5, 5 to 7?
You may not. You may not talk like that. I've waited a lifetime for you, and there's not a chance in hell that Anderson's going to take you away from me. It's just not going to happen.
I wish I felt so sure.
You wait and see. Ryan's going to come through for us, and by the time we get finished with her, Christy Carson is going to be nailed to the barn door. You wait.
All I ever wanted was the best possible care for my patient, and now I'm being attacked for it. Here at the hospital, it just never stops.
Listen, the treatment of the terminally ill is an extremely sensitive issue, Daryl. And right now, there just aren't too many people in our courts, so to speak.
But the law is clear. Frankie Frame committed a crime.
And if I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be here. Now, why don't you go over to the anteroom, try to calm down? We're going to be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Hi. God, I got here as soon as I could. What's going on?
Oh, well, the wolves are at the door. How things go with your mother?
All right, I guess. She's actually downstairs in the ladies' room.
What?
Well, Frankie and Cass are her friends. She wants to be here to support them.
Her and half the rest of this town. Guess my side's going to be pretty lonely, huh?
I'll be there. In spirit, anyway. But I gotta tell you, Kevin, this whole thing just really stinks. It's hurting everybody. It's hurting Dean and...
What is Frank?
Oh, well, Cass certainly knows what he's doing. Frankie looks like a walking ad from the League of Women Voters.
Good morning, everybody. We'll be happy to make a statement right after this morning's session, but right now I need to confer with my client. Thank you very much. You okay? Good. You look great. I love the outfit.
You would say that. You bought it for me.
Did I? What taste I have.
Oh, it's her right now.
Would you look at her? Isn't she the picture perfect for you?
Take it easy, kid. We can do this. We're going to be fine.
When I think of her touching you and kissing you, when I think of what she did to Douglas, I guess it's just too much. How can I pretend that she's my best friend when all I want to do is rip her heart out?
Because you have to. If she finds out that we're on to her, she's going to tear you to shreds in there.
I know.
We can beat her, baby. I promise you.
Mary Frances, I've been thinking about you all night. Is there anything I can do?
Mind. Maybe this really isn't such a good time. No, it's fine. It's fine. Stay here. You're here. Stay. Besides, I have a few things in the wedding chapter I want to talk to you about.
What? Me changes?
Yes, that's right.
Mickey, this is my book.
Well, if you want an authorized biography, then I think you ought to talk to the senator's wife. Or forget it.
Mary Frances, I've been dying for you. Please tell me if there's anything I can do.
Frankie, why don't you wait in the attorney's room while I talk to Christy about her testimony?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, she's pretty upset.
Yeah, I can see that. Poor thing. How are you? About last night, I mean.
Christy, I don't think this is a good place or time to talk about that.
I wish we could have had the evening to ourselves last night. I know you wanted to make love as much as I did. This is so difficult now because here we have to pretend that we're nothing more than acquaintances.
Yes, we do. Now, look, I've got to get inside and check on a few things. I want you to act as cool as possible. Can you do that for me?
Cass, I would do anything for you.
That's my girl.
Cass?
Felicia?
How is Frankie?
Well, she's hanging in there, I guess, but...
Listen, I know this probably isn't the best time, but I just wanted you both to know that I'm here. I mean, if there's anything I can do, any way I can help.
Well, thank you, but I don't...
Cass. What I'm trying to say to you is that I was wrong, and you were right. I am an alcoholic. And I am going to get some help. I want to live my life without any liquor in it.
Oh, honey.
I know that I've really been so difficult. I don't know why I just can't say this. I've been a walking disaster. I've said some horrible things to you. I just want you to know I never meant any of them. And I will get better. I swear I will get better.
It's good to have you back, pal. I missed you. God, I've missed you so much.
Cass, got something.
I'll call you as soon as I can, okay?
Yes, yes. Tell Frankie that I give her my best, okay?
I will. I love you.
Me too.
What'd you find out?
Now is not the right season for red passionata-based pesticides.
Oh, swell.
No, this is good, Cass. The distributor called me back. He said that because it was the wrong time of year, that he's only gotten a few orders for red passionata-based pesticides.
So was one of them from Christy?
No. Well, he didn't actually get any names. See, that's why I need a picture of her. Can you help?
Mrs. Carson, please, just one more.
Thank you. I don't want anybody making a circus out of my best friend's trial.
Ask and you shall receive.
Oh, good. I was just coming to get you.
I had to get away from all those people. The press wouldn't leave me alone.
It's okay. Sit down. Here.
Mary Frances, I'm right here.
You know, I wasn't sure if you would come.
Well, why wouldn't I come? My cousin is in there.
Oh, no, I know. I just thought, with Jenna in the hospital.
Yeah, I'm taking care of Jenna, so could you do me a favor and back off, please?
It's just that I meant that,
I got a couple of phone calls to make.
All rise. The Honorable Margaret Trollinger, presiding.
Mr. Winthrop, I have considered your motions, including your request that this trial be judged by another judge. They are denied. Now, are we ready to proceed with the matter of the state versus Mary Frances Frame?
The state is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is also ready.
Mr. Anderson, the jury will hear your opening statement.
And finally, the state will prove beyond all reasonable doubt that Mary Frances Frame did knowingly, willingly, and with premeditation assist Douglas Carson with his suicide. Now, it is true, Douglas Carson was a very sick man. But no matter how pure Ms. Frame's motives, no matter how altruistic her intentions, she committed what in this state is a second-degree felony. Ms. Frame may not understand the difference between murder and friendship, but you do, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you must find her guilty.
Mr. Winthrop.
I agree with Mr. Anderson, at least with a lot of the points that he just made. We know that assisted suicide, no matter what the motivation behind it, is a criminal act of murder in this state. And in light of that, the demands which a very sick friend can put on you to help ease his pain or end his suffering must be totally disregarded because no one, including Mary Frances Frame, is above the law. Ms. Frame understands this concept very well, and even given her great friendship with Professor Carson, fully abided by it. In other words, Ms. Frame did not poison her friend, Professor Carson, nor did she assist in his suicide, if indeed it was suicide.
Mr. Anderson, you may call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Dr. Darrell Beckett.
I know what it's about, to lose something that's important. And I could see how much this baby meant to you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bite your head off.
I'm used to it.
You mean for me?
Oh, no, you've been pretty good lately. In fact, your whole family has.
Lorna or Mom?
Both. I think they might surprise you.
Yeah.
Hello, honey. Oh, I'm sorry, Victor. I'm interrupting.
No.
Yes.
Look, I was just leaving. Now give her a listen. I think she might surprise you. Hang in there.
Honey, I know that you need your rest.
Yeah, I'm tired,
But there
Mom.
is something I really need to say to
Please,
you.
you really don't need to make any more apologies. It's fine.
No, it's not about that. You already know how sorry I am that I wasn't there when you needed me. And I now know that I have to live with that for the rest of my sober life. I said it. I am an alcoholic, Jenna, and I can admit that now. And, honey, I know I use so many excuses and so many lies, and the worst part of all this is that I used you. And I love you. I love you so,
but
and
I
I
let
used
you
you
do
anyway. No, wait a minute. This has nothing to do with anything that you did, Jenna. It doesn't.
I just wanted to help you.
Oh, baby, I know that. And don't you think I used that over and over again? And because you are such a sweet, loving child, you know what? You gave in to me. So you see, this isn't your fault. This is only my fault. I am the only one to blame here.
So what's next?
Just today. I just have to get through today without drinking. And then, if I'm very lucky, I will maybe have enough time and days and months behind me that you might actually want me to be your mother again. Baby.
You were Douglas Carson's primary care physician, is that correct?
Yes, I was.
Exactly what did Douglas Carson suffer from?
Dilated congestive cardiomyopathy.
Is that a fatal disease?
Usually, but in recent years, through the advancement of donor transplants, that is not always the case.
In other words, Professor Carson refused your recommendation to pursue alternative treatment.
My alternative treatment, he seemed perfectly willing to let Frankie Frame give him advice.
Objection. Answer is unresponsive to the question.
Dr. Beckett, please confine your answers to the question.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, when Professor Carson died, you weren't surprised.
Well, it was a little sooner than expected, but no. Not until the autopsy, that
Why?
is.
What was so unusual?
His lungs were clear. If he died of his disease, that wouldn't have been the case.
Then what did he die of, Doctor?
Alkaloid poisoning from an herb known as red passionata.
An herb. Do heart medications contain herbs?
No, this was not introduced via medication.
I see. Have you any idea, then, how this herb got into his system?
We believe it was contained in tea, which Professor Carson drank before his last attack.
Were you aware that Professor Carson enjoyed herbal teas?
Yes, he particularly liked the ones made for him by Frankie Frame.
Objection. Hearsay, Your Honor.
Sustained. Dr. Beckett, I must remind you again, answer only the question asked of you.
Let me rephrase the question. To your knowledge, did Professor Carson ever make his own teas?
No, he said he liked packaged teas, until his friend Frankie Frame started making him special blends.
So, you know for a fact that Frankie Frame personally concocted these herbal teas for Professor Carson.
He told me that she did, yes.
And they were very good friends.
Objection. Calls for conjecture.
Sustained. Mr. Anderson.
I know, Your Honor. How many times did you see Frankie Frame with your patient?
Many. In fact, when I visited the Carson home, Miss Frame and I had a serious argument about his treatment.
Was Mrs. Carson present?
Yes.
And yet Ms. Frame was the person to question your treatment.
She actually went so far as to throw me out of the house.
And what were her concerns? That you weren't doing enough to help her friend?
No, that we were doing too much. She told me that I had no business keeping a man alive that wanted to die.
Did Professor Carson tell you he wanted to die?
He told me that he did not want to use extraordinary means to sustain his life, but he never said anything about wanting to die.
He is twisting everything.
Don't worry, we'll get our chance.
When was the last time you saw your patient?
In the ER, he suffered heart failure at his home and then was rushed to us by emergency transport.
And you couldn't save him?
We couldn't stand a chance. You see, the alkaloid was so strong, so toxic that the heart just destroyed itself.
Was his death more painful than it would have been if he'd have died of his disease?
Well, we could never know that for sure, but from the indicators that we do have, I would say that he experienced an extremely painful death. What's most galling to me as a physician is that it was avoidable.
One last question. When Professor Carson arrived at the hospital, was Frankie Frame present?
Yes. In fact, she physically tried to prevent his resuscitation. There's no question in my mind that Miss Frame wanted this man to die.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Doctor, would you share with us your feelings about the defendant, please?
Objection.
Goes to the witness bias and motive, Your Honor.
I'll allow it. Please answer the question, Dr. Beckett.
I was angry with her. I felt she was a layperson interfering with the treatment of my patient, and I still feel that way.
But I'm sure you've had experiences with family and friends whose opinions run contrary to yours.
But not like this. You see, this lady not only didn't like my diagnosis and treatment, she tried to provide her own.
Did you ever hear Ms. Frame counsel Professor Carson to refuse medication?
No, but she did supplement my treatment with ridiculous herbal concoctions. She had no business doing that.
I see. So in other words, it was the interference that you resented, because actually those ridiculous herbal concoctions, as you call them, did nothing more than try to relax your patient. Isn't that so?
In the medical trade, that's called a placebo, counselor. It's pure hogwash.
Oh, so you've had a lot of experience with this alternative form of medication?
No.
No, not personally, or no, not in your experience as a practicing physician?
As a physician.
And personally?
My mother...
Your mother what? She practiced self-healing, didn't she?
Yes.
And what is your relationship with your mother now, Doctor?
She's dead. She refused conventional medical treatment, and then she died.
I'm sorry. That must have been very painful for you.
Yes, it was.
But in light of that, wouldn't you say that you might be a harsher critic of Ms. Frame than another physician?
Maybe.
A yes or no is called for here, Doctor.
Yes.
Thank you. We're almost done, so try to relax. Did you ever hear Professor Carson ask Frankie Frame for assistance in taking his own life?
No.
And what about Ms. Frame suggesting suicide to Professor Carson? Did you ever hear any conversation to that effect?
No.
Just one last question. The herb that was found in Professor Carson's tea, the red passionata, isn't it readily available over the counter like many other herbs?
Yes, I suppose so.
And like many other over-the-counter preparations, such as aspirin, it would only be fatal if taken in sufficiently large quantities.
Yes.
So, the tea that Ms. Frame blended for Professor Carson for months was in and of itself harmless.
Well, yes, I suppose. If you confine it to...
As your answers are confined to my questions. Thank you, Doctor. I have nothing further to add.
You may be excused, Dr. Beckett.
The state calls Mrs. Christy Carson.
Excuse me, Mr. Anderson. We will take a 15-minute recess, and then we'll see your witness after that.
Top of next week.
John, you know what the hospital's like, the talk and everything.
Oh, the hell with them. Don't you think it's time we put ourselves first for a change?
Whoops, I think it's gonna start raining here. Yeah, this is coming up quick.
No!
Just out the way.
Here, Gregory, let me just get all this stuff in here. Look, it's raining.
Gregory,
Oh,
get out of the rain.
Oh, no, Gregory! Come on, I'm kidding. All right, I have a date. With Steven.
The movies?
No, actually, I thought I'd take him over to my old house for dinner. He's sort of been saying he was missing it lately, and I... What? I'm sorry, you're upset we didn't ask you to come. Please, please come,
Victoria,
too.
you know, it surprises me that you would even consider something like that. Hasn't the boy had enough trauma? We're trying to build a real home for him, and the only place we can do that is right here.
Well, are you saying you're not going to let us go?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Mary Frances, how you holding up? Okay. It must be pretty terrible sitting there and listening to these people say these awful things about you. I mean, they make you sound like a freak.
You know, it doesn't seem so long ago that someone attacked me that way, they'd have to answer to Christy McHale. You remember those times, don't you, Christy? Yeah. Me too. You would have done anything for me. Hell, you even sent me your hard-earned cash to get me out of Oklahoma.
God, I wish things were that simple now.
Maybe they still could be. All I'd need is the right testimony on my behalf. Someone to stand up for me the way you once did. But maybe that is too much to ask. Maybe I just have to fend for myself this time.
You have Cass.
Not if I get convicted, I won't. See you in there.
You really gave Gerald a 1-2 punch. That was awesome.
Yeah, but it wasn't a KO, and that's what we need.
Right.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks. Okay.
What are you talking about? It sounds like you did fine.
Cass is tough, Lorna. He made some points with the jury, I could tell.
Oh, stop. And as soon as you get back in there, you're going to do the same thing. Yeah.
Judge is ready.
Okay, go.
Mr. Anderson.
The state calls Mrs. Christy Carson.